morning, students of class 10. You're welcome back to the e-classes now. Let's continue our lesson in English from supplementary reader, that is lesson 9. We are doing Bholi. Bholi means very simple, simpleton, unable to use the common sense. So here this chapter has been divided into 9 parts. Listen carefully, pay attention to the class, listen carefully. This chapter has been divided into 9 parts. Now we will do today first part and the second part. First and second part. So in short. So now Bholi the simpleton. Number 1 part. Number 1 has been divided into 1, 2, 3 parts, and that is subdivided. Number 2, poke marks all over the body, about that. So now we'll talk about one by one. Bholi the simpleton. Simpleton means unable to use the common sense. Very, very simple. Just like an innocent child. So number A. 1A. Bholi was the 4th daughter. She was the 4th daughter of a person named Nambedar Ramlal. The name of a person who had 4th daughter, Nambedar Ramlal. He was a Ramlal. He had 3 already. See, he had 3 daughters. Now Bholi was the 4th daughter that was born to him. She had fallen off the cot. In our previous class about the chapter, I have told you everything in short. She had fallen off the cot from the bed when she was just 10 months old. When she was 10 months old, she had fallen from the bed, and that too with the head first. And due to the fall, perhaps, number 2, perhaps means maybe, some part of her brain was damaged due to the fall. As she was very, very delicate, just 10 months old, not even 1 year, 10 months old, and she fell off the cot with her head first touching the ground or the floor. And due to that fall, some part of her brain must have got damaged. How do we know that her brain must have got damaged? So later on we'll talk, because out of all the children among the 4 children, all the children, only she remained backward. She remained backward means she was quite abnormal. Normally a child starts speaking when a child reaches the age of 10, 11, 12 months. About a year, a child starts talking, starts speaking. But Bholi, this 4th child of Ramlal, she could not speak when she was 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4th year. When she was 5 years old, then she started speaking. You see that was abnormal. Out of all the children, only she remained backward. Therefore, she was called Bholi the simpleton. Simpleton means unable to use the common sense, unable to use the brain properly. Simpleton. Now this is ABC. 1, Bholi the simpleton. Now, number 2, poke marks all over the body. She had poke marks all over the body, deep scars. Number 2 has been divided again into 3 parts. At the birth, when she was born, she was fair and pretty. When she was born, she was very fair and pretty. She was beautiful, lovely. But when she was 2 years old, she was very, very unlucky. When she was 10 months old, she fell off the cot and damaged some part of her brain. And when she reached the age of 2, she had an attack of smallpox, a very deadly disease at that time. There was no cure for that. So she had an attack of smallpox. Number B, her eyes were saved. Only her eyes were saved, but her entire body was disfigured. Disfigured means was damaged. She had deep black poke marks all over her body. Her beauty was disfigured. While she was born, she was pretty and fair. But after she had an attack of smallpox, she got cured. Somehow she got cured. But it left a deep scar or a deep poke marks all over her body, except eyes. Her face and body was disfigured. Little Bholi, her name was Sulekha, but since she could not speak properly, she was so gentle, hardly she used to speak, she was called Bholi. So little Bholi or Sulekha learned to speak at the age of 5. That is quite abnormal. Generally, I have told you, generally a child starts speaking when a child reaches the age of 9, 10, almost 1 year. When a child reaches 1 year, the child starts talking. The child learns how to speak. The child copies everything and tries to speak. But you can see there over here, little Bholi learned to speak at the age of 5. This is quite abnormal. This proves that she must have damaged some part of her brain when she fell off the cot. But when she started speaking at the age of 5, she stammered too much. She used to stammer. She found it very difficult to speak. She used to repeat the word many times, and that too not completely. She used to stammer. She used to find it very, very difficult to speak. This shows that she was quite abnormal. Children often made fun of her. The neighboring children, the children around the village or around the area, they used to make fun of her because she used to speak. Even the family members did not like her. They used to make differences. So children often made fun of her, and so Bholi used to speak very little. That was very bad. The more she speaks, the more she learns. The more she speaks, the more she stops stammering. But here, since the children made fun of her, she stopped talking altogether. She talked very little, which is very bad for her. She could not overcome her stammering in this way. In order to overcome the stammering, she needs to speak more. She needs to build confidence. But here, just the opposite was happening to her. So once the children made fun of her, she talked very little and she could not overcome her stammering. So you can see there, we have done number 1 and number 2. It has been subdivided. Now in our next class, we'll talk about something more. We'll talk about 3 and 4. So how the story unfolds. In our next class, we'll talk as she grew, her family member, how the family member discriminated her. We'll learn about that. And after that, she used to feel very lonely. She used to often was neglected, and finally when she was taken to the school, she had a different environment, and there she learned a lot of things: how to overcome stammering, how to overcome fear, how to build courage. So it is all because of the teacher who taught her everything to build up courage to stop stammering, because she needed love which she could not get at home, because all her family members discriminated her. They did not like her. They left her just like that. So you can see, we will talk about in our next class. It's all about the role of a teacher is very important over here, and after getting education, how she transformed her life. So it's very interesting and something to learn. So we can also overcome our difficulties only if we have the courage, if we overcome our fear, and if we overcome our you can see that weakness. You can see we must overcome our weaknesses and develop confidence, so then we can achieve everything. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you for watching so attentively and paying so much attention and listening carefully. So only thing, you need to brighten up a little bit, because the sketch is not writing properly. So only thing, listen carefully and try to follow it. So that's all for today. We will continue in our next class. Thank you very much.